Hi everyone. I'm hoping that the sound on this is okay. At the moment I don't have a lav mic. I was trying to do some recording and it basically just came out as white noise. I think something to do with the connectors, so I don't want to trust my lav mic at the moment just in case it doesn't record again and then I lose another couple of hours of recording and information and everything that I did. So instead I'm just going to be using the microphone on the actual phone itself, and I'm hoping that that's sufficient for the moment. I do have a new one on order. Basically I got a new phone and it doesn't have a headphone jack, and the lav mic that I had plugs into the headphone, so I got a converter, but somewhere along the line something's not quite working right, so I figured safer to just avoid it, even though it has worked on occasion on tests, but then it doesn't. So I think there's just some sort of loose wire connection, something. It must just pull out just slightly and it just doesn't work. So I figured let's wait till we get a proper mic, and then at least that way I know that the recording is going to have sound, because if I've got the lav mic plugged in, it overwrites the microphone on the phone and then I lose all sound, which is fun. So I thought I would, I don't know, I don't even know what I want to say in this video. It's been a while. Like I said, in the video that I lost the sound on, I went through some of the reasons I've been having writer's block, and since then I've had a number of things happen across the board that have made things even worse for the moment. I will get back onto the right track and I'm doing everything I can to get there. For the moment it's just not working, so I guess let's have a little bit of a chat about mental health. It's so important to look after your mental health and to admit when there's a problem and to take the steps that you need to take, whether that's seeing a doctor, whether that's speaking to someone professionally, whether it's even just speaking to a friend or having a cup of coffee with someone, and just talking about what's going on. At the moment I've had a few days and situations where things haven't gone my way, where I've made mistakes or fuck-ups, and obviously when that happens there's not much you can do, and beating yourself up over them doesn't help, but it doesn't mean you don't do it, especially if you've got a personality like mine. I'm very, very hard on myself. I think no matter how much criticism someone could give me about my books, about my work, about how I raise my daughter, about everything in my life, you could provide any criticism and it won't be something that I haven't already said about myself. It won't be something that I haven't thought 1,000 times. You know, I will look back on mistakes that I make in 20 years' time and still cringe and hate myself for being stupid enough to make them, or for having that momentary lapse. And that's just part of who I am. I don't know how to let things go. I don't even know how to start. I've tried CBT therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, in the past, and it helps a little bit, and I do know the practices and I try to put the practices into place, but that doesn't stop you from waking at 3 a.m. in the morning with the thoughts about what could happen or what might happen or what has happened running through your head. So I've been having a bit of that lately, which has been fun. But I'm sure over time that'll hopefully get a little bit easier. You know, you learn to forgive yourself a little bit at a time. One of my biggest issues is just feeling like no matter how hard I try or no matter what I do, I'm destined for a life of mediocrity and struggles, and it's hard to focus through that sometimes, to get to the other side and say, you know, I deserve something more, or I deserve anything really. Like, it's hard to want anything that I don't feel that I deserve, and I don't necessarily feel like I deserve anything more than what I've got. Sometimes I don't even think I deserve what I've got. I've got terrible imposter syndrome almost all the time, about everything, and it's a struggle sometimes. I don't know if any of you guys sort of have that. I mean, I even say you guys, and I don't even know if anyone's even going to watch this or if anyone's even going to care. There's a part of me that basically says, why are you even recording anything for YouTube? No one cares. No one wants to know what you say. No one wants to know what you've got to say about any of these topics. And in a way, I don't necessarily care what that voice says, because I don't do these recordings for anyone else. I hope that other people get things out of them. I hope other people see them and understand struggles about weight loss, or about imposter syndrome, or about any of the things that I've talked about. Of course, I hope that people either see someone who is going through the same sort of experiences they are, or someone who, I don't know, has similar struggles or different struggles, but that they can relate to. And I hope that by running through these things, someone might go, you know, that's me too, and not feel as alone, and just in a tiny, tiny little way feel like there's someone else who understands and who gets it. And I know how powerful that understanding can be. There's been television shows where I've watched the characters and I've related to some of the things that they've done or said, and it helps to know that even though they're a fictional character, they're going through some of the same things, which means the writers had obviously gone through the same things, or at least understood those things enough to put them in a realistic way that made them feel relatable. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, that's sort of, I guess, why I'm doing these recordings. I don't expect to ever be famous on YouTube or anything like that. Like, that is never my goal. That's not been my goal from the beginning. Maybe it should be my goal. Maybe I do need to put more stock and faith in myself and sort of say that, you know, one day this could be something. But I don't, because I don't realistically believe that. Same as with my books. I love writing my books. I love telling my stories. It's been a struggle lately, but that's more to do with everything else going on in my head than the actual process of writing. I still quite enjoy that, but everything else going on and that side of it makes it a lot harder. I don't think that my books are ever going to make me rich. I've never thought that. I might have had wildest fantasies about, you know, a lot of people reading them and connecting to the characters, but never about making $1 million or even a living wage off of it. And I know that that's probably the wrong way to go about it. Everyone says you have to treat it as a business. The few times I've tried have just led to faster burnout. It just destroys my creativity process. And I think that's part of where things are at the moment. It's part of the reason why I won't write. I'll do that as a separate video, because this one's already getting quite long, and even once I cut out the bits that I need to cut out, it's probably still going to be quite a few minutes of self-indulgent tosh that no one else really cares about. But it's just giving you a bit of an update of where I've been, that I have been thinking about trying to record, that I have actually recorded some stuff. Yeah, so it's just a bit of a general update. I don't know how regularly I'll be able to keep posting. Life's sort of returning back to normal a lot now, with Queensland not having too many COVID cases, so I'll be back in the office shortly, and I will be still driving my daughter around everywhere, so I'll have significantly less time to try and carve out some time to write and to record and to do any of the vocal work that I've been doing, but I'll still keep trying, and I'll try and post as regularly as I can. If people are interested in any particular topics or hearing my thoughts on anything, I'm more than happy to visit things. Otherwise, I'm just going to use this as a bit of a, I don't know, mental health chat for myself, I guess, is probably the easiest way to put it. Which probably isn't really a great thing to put out on the internet, all of your insecurities and foibles and issues, but that's who I am. I'm just as closed as I am, and as private as I am, I'm also very open, and I don't like to hide things because, you know, it's easier just to deal with what's in front of you and just do what you can with what you've got. And that's what I try and do. So I'm hoping a few of you would like to come along on that journey with me. And I'm not restricting my YouTube to any particular topic. You know, I know a lot of authors go and just talk about books and writing, and the problem with that is I don't feel I'm an expert on writing. I don't necessarily follow the trends, and I don't follow the tropes, and although a lot of the tropes are in my books, I'm not saying that I'm anti-trope or anything, because you can't be. Even being against a trope or writing the reverse of a trope is a trope these days. But just more, there's a lot of stuff that my opinion on isn't necessarily going to be the popular opinion on, or isn't necessarily going to be the right opinion on. I don't feel qualified to give any advice on writing or words, because I've never sold books the way that other authors do. I've never sold quantities the way that other authors have, and I don't want to pretend that I'm something I'm not just to try and garner some respect. I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not, or to have achieved something I haven't, to pretend to be a professional in an industry that I've never cracked. I'll leave that to other people, and I've got no problems with people using their knowledge that they've learned, even if they haven't applied it themselves. Like, I'm not judging on those people. I'm just saying that's not me. I can't do that, because I've got a terrible case of imposter syndrome at the best of times, and to then try and pretend to have any expertise will just make that 10 times worse. So I'm just going to basically spend my videos shooting the shit, talking about things I want to talk about. Sometimes that will be about books, and it'll be about things that I've experienced or that I've done or that I want to do, or talking about stories that I want to tell. But other times it'll just be my mental health, my life. You know, that's what this journey is about. Hopefully a few of you want to come along with me, but you know, if I'm just talking to a camera, talking to myself in my car, then I guess that's what I'm doing. I know people say that you need a niche, you need something to make you stand out, and that's where I come back to that same thing. Like, I am destined for mediocrity. Maybe that is my niche. Maybe mediocrity is my niche. But I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not, just to try and claim something that I don't even know if I want. So yeah, hopefully somewhere in this ramble I can get together a coherent video and something interesting for you guys to watch. But if not, it'll be lost to the tales of time and you'll never even know about it. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.